now we are tracking the latest developments regarding the war in West Asia and its implications across the globe. And in the latest developments, this is coming in from Israel, where two bodies have been recovered from the rubble of a residential building in Haifa after it was struck by an Iranian ballistic missile. Rescue crews are continuing intensive search operations at the impact site, going through the debris as 4 people remain missing. The strike has caused significant damage to the residential structure in the northern Israeli city. Joining us on the broadcast to discuss the various developments from the ground is Major General Anuj Mathur, who's a defense expert, and Shruti Dasgupta, foreign affairs expert. I welcome you both to the morning show. Thank you so much for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. General Mathur, if I can start off the discussion with your observations. There are obviously now hostilities, Iranian ballistic missiles targeting residential buildings. We are getting to know of civilian deaths as well. So the war has gone on to a phase that no country would have liked to see. However, we are seeing statements coming in from US President Donald Trump. He has given the Tuesday deadline and he is saying that he will rain hell on Iran if they do not open the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has rejected these negotiations or talks or deadlines and said, if you come here, you will face your own hell. I want to understand, General, do you believe that the war could get worse from here, or do you believe that there can be some sort of negotiations or chatter that can start off after Tuesday?
Jain, Shivani, happy morning. I wish I could answer your question in the second thing, but unfortunately, as I look at it, there is no likelihood of any let-up. The thing is very, very simple. And the simple thing is that both America and Iran have taken extreme stands. And as long as those extreme stands are there, it is unlikely to result in any negotiated settlement, at least for the time being. And it is only going to go up in intensity and in content both. Now, the worst thing that can, the issue is that Iran today, if I may say so, Iran today is in grip of IRGC. There is no political leadership of any worth left. And the people who are there, Pezeshkians and all these people, they are not being heard. They make some appointments, IRGC says, carry on, we are not going to accept it. Now the result of that is that you have radicalized military minds. And I said that earlier also, Shivani, if you can recollect, violence of a radical mind is absolutely catastrophic, dangerous. And that exactly is what is happening. So those 31 districts which were said to be the strategy which the Iranians had followed, and it was so much appreciated. Now all those 31 districts have become 31 independent armies who are taking their own calls, and they all belong to a place called Badlapur, and they are only thinking in terms of revenge, 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 and revenge. So whatever may come from anywhere, they have to take revenge, and that is the thing which is creating maximum chaos in this area. Now, the best case scenario, as we can talk, is some kind of negotiated settlement. Someone like India, facilitating that, and I think comes closer to some settlement. And the first thing is they should agree to a ceasefire. Once the fire stops, then you talk. So that is one thing, one possible best case scenario. And the worst case scenario is now. What I'm going to tell you, because what is going to happen, America, right now, we are saying that Strait of Hormuz is controlled by Iran. Why it is controlled by Iran is because Iran is deciding who to let go and who not to. America will, combatize this zone. And by combatization, I mean that if Iran is deciding which vessels to be allowed to be going, America will decide with the force that nobody will be allowed to go. So if the shipping, they think of other parts of the country are affected, so will Iran's complete business movement will get affected. So will the entire economy of four of those countries, Iraq, Kuwait and Bahrain and Qatar, who are entirely dependent on this movement through this, even for their food security, for their agriculture security, for their chemicals and fertilizers and everything else, whatever else is there. So entire economic activity, even countries like China will get affected because they have so much of business which they do from here, from the Middle East or West Asia, because China is primarily a export-driven economy, and if their exports are getting affected, they are getting affected adversely. So the point is, if America combatizes this zone of war, then there will be no movement of any kind from here. If Iran can fire, so can the Americans. If Iran can stop movement, so can the Americans. And Americans are mightier than Iran in this sea. There is no two ways about it. So it is going to impact the global economy.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, Shivani, just one line let me make. We are headed, possibly headed, I hate to say this, possibly headed to the Great Depression of 1929 to 1939. Shivani.
Okay, very interesting observation over there, General. And obviously, we are seeing currently the economic implications of this entire war in just 2 months. But I have some more information that is coming in from the ground. Last night, missiles like meteorites could be seen over the skies of Tel Aviv. The visuals on your screens show multiple bright trails lighting up the city as residents reported panic and fleeing towards Jerusalem. Let me also rope in Ms. Dasgupta into this discussion. Ma'am, I also want to understand your observation. We are heading towards the Tuesday deadline. Iran rejects it. US is doubling down on the fact that, they will rain hell on Iran if it does not open the Strait of Hormuz. The General also pointed out we are seeing economic fallouts across the globe, and we will continue to feel it in obviously the years to come, because these production facilities will take some time to restart, to operationalize. But I want to understand, these hostilities are still continuing on the ground, Ms. Dasgupta, and there is some chatter about regional mediators again coming forth. They're talking about a 45-day ceasefire. Do you believe that US and Israel will agree to come to the negotiating table this time, or they will in fact go down? They just faced a great success in that rescue operation that they conducted.
What I can understand from this is that the regional powers are offering Israel and USA an off-ramp. It is not an off-ramp for Iran, it is an off-ramp situation from an escalated ladder, as General Mathur explained to you. That would be what they are attempting to offer a respectable off-ramp by saying there should be a 45-day ceasefire from both sides. Now, here is where the problem is. As again General Mathur has said, there are 35 different armies now they're fighting, not a single body with a single goal. So there is not one single command will stop them. So getting Iran to agree to a 45-day ceasefire would be much more difficult for these regional powers. Although Iran has maintained, even the IRGC has maintained, that most of its strikes are retaliatory, as in you hit me and then I hit you back twofolds. So, and not just in Israel, but also in their Gulf partners as such. So these are, it may back off, it may regroup, it may give breathing room to Iran to figure out how to get out of this almost do or die situation, the scorched earth philosophy that it is now following now in the term as a war philosophy for itself. But whether it is going to see peace or not, I don't think so, because the amount of damage caused would is for Israel, it would be a once in a lifetime opportunity, although they have issued statements giving that it is no longer an existential nuclear threat to Israel, but it is a once in a lifetime opportunity. They might never be this close to ensuring the complete obliteration of Iranian identity, because right now what they are attacking are not just the nuclear power plants or the military heads. They're attacking universities, they're attacking schools, they're attacking bridges. They're kind of crumbling an entire nation and its people. So what they're effectively doing is ensuring that the Iranians as such are never able to come back even as a regular nation. They are completely having their feet chopped off from beneath them. So this may not be a repeat. There may not be a repeat of this very soon if this is pulled to a pause. So there is going to be a pull and push for this off ramp. The GCC countries need it because they're bleeding in a war that was not there. So they probably are more enthusiastic about this off ramp that they want both sides and both parties to take. But whether it will actually take effect is something that is up for grabs, because I don't think Donald Trump is thinking in the same psychology as most normal human beings would, that all right, we have a respectable off ramp, let's take it. I think he's looking for victory. I think he's looking for laurels without actually having to pay the price for it himself personally. So
Right.
I don't know whether both sides would actually be happy to take this off ramp offered.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ms. Das Gupta. But please do stay on with us. We have some more information coming our way. US and Israeli forces have carried out fresh airstrikes near Tehran's Mehrabad International Airport. Now, explosions and thick fumes of black smoke rose from the western part of the capital, with fires visible near the airport. The strikes targeted areas close to the facility, which serves both civilian flights and military aircraft. We also have another piece of information, this time coming in from Lebanon, where the Israeli Defense Forces have released video footage showing what they say is Hezbollah military equipment hidden inside a school in Lebanon. Now, according to the IDF, the raid uncovered uniforms, graduation certificates of the elite Radwan Force unit, RPG operation manuals, surface-to-surface rockets and launchers. The military gear was found alongside packages sent from Iran to Shiite villages in southern Lebanon. The IDF says that this is fresh evidence that Hezbollah is desperately using civilian schools as military bases and weapons depots. General Mathur, I would like your observations regarding this. We've spoken about a ceasefire, we've spoken about negotiations. On the ground, sir, the reason why I asked you that first question is if US and Israel will agree to come to the negotiating table is because Israel seems to be intent on completing its objectives. And experts and analysts have pointed out that there seems to be a sort of a greater Israel objective to this entire operation that they are also conducting. Obviously, they want to eliminate the threat of the proxies or the axis of resistance, as they call themselves, the Houthis, the Hamas, the Hezbollah. But over here on ground, sir, we are seeing Israel conduct a limited ground operation in southern Lebanon, where they are, in fact, so they've provided evidence, but they are destroying civilian infrastructure. They want to make sure that Hezbollah does not get any ground to, kind of recalibrate themselves. So they are destroying all the civilian infrastructure that is present there, including schools, including residential areas, and they want to make sure that everything is obliterated to the ground.
Look, Shivani, in the entire, canvas, the one country which is absolutely clear on what they want and who are absolutely focused is Israel. I have a slightly different view, and the view is Israel's objective is to remove Iran as a threat. I repeat, to remove Iran as a threat. It is as simple as that. And they were fully aware that it is now or never. How will they remove Iran as a threat? How is Iran threatening Israel? Through the proxies, through missiles, through a possible acquisition of a nuclear power, through a regime which believes in obliterating Israel from the map of the world. So they are absolutely systematically striking. Whether they're succeeding or not is not that what I am trying to tell you. What they are doing, that I am telling you. So they want to remove these proxies who are directly a threat to him: Hamas, Hezbollah. And two ways of removing them: one, physically destroy them as much as is possible, and two, starve them logistically. Starve them logistically meaning, where are things coming from? They're coming from Iran. Iran is the head of the octopus, and all these 5-6 things are the arms of the octopus. So they whatever arms are hitting Israel, they are trying to destroy them. Hamas, they have almost done it. Hezbollah, they are 50-60% in it. And Houthis, in any case, quite far away. And Houthis have...
All right. General, we seem to have some sort of issue with the network. Could you repeat your last statement, General, please?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
So there was some issue with the network. Please continue.
So what I was saying was that the way to what they perceive as removal of Iran as a threat is sorting out their or reducing the capability of their proxies, and the way to do it is physical destruction plus starving them logistically so that they cannot be maintained and they cannot be prepared for further things. So that's exactly what they are doing. Then nuclear, they've made sure that at least for the time being, Iran is not in a position to become a nuclear power. Then doing things to their missile and drone power. There are again two ways to do it, and they're applying both. One, forcing them to continuously fire. After all, they also have a finite stockpile, and their stockpile is reducing. Two, strike. Now that strike on Baharistan has knocked off 40% of Iran's capability of missile firing. Whether we want to believe it or not, it is the fact. If you plot it, the way they were striking in the beginning, then they went up and then they have come down, and now they are very, very minimal strikes of these things are coming up, because there has been a severe damage to their missile and drone capability also. These are the things. And the fourth thing is they want to create a situation, because they want to remove the religious leadership, and that leadership which wants Israel to be removed from the map of the world. So that is the thing which I was doing.
All right. Unfortunately, we have some other breaking news coming out.